Ratchet and Clank walkthrough going Commando. Now, as you see, jumping into lava is not usually a good thing to do when you want to actually get past this part of the level. So here we need to swap between Ratchet and Clank so we can actually get through. The game will do that for you automatically once you get past a certain point, and this first part is pretty straightforward. With Clank, you just have to wait for the lava to go down, and then you can jump onto the platforms and make it all the way to the other side. Now, as I've mentioned before, when we've played as Clank, you only get 4 health, and there's a lot of things that'll kill you in one hit, which kind of defeats the purpose of having 4 health, if you ask me, but I think most things in this part of the level only do 1 damage, so that's fine. Now we get this ammo robot, what am I saying? We get this hammer robot, and we'll just want to use him to hammer that box down, and use him again on this one so you can actually get through, and then we're going to need to use him to hammer us up onto the other platform. So the way this works is you stand on here and then you say hammer, and he's going to hammer that down, and then you'll be able to get flown all the way up here, and there's going to be a couple of enemies we'll need to deal with. Then of course get some of the boxes if you want. Unfortunately, you don't usually get too many bolts while playing as Clank, but they do all add up eventually, so be sure to pick up as many as you can. And that guy annoyingly hit me for some reason. Clank, when you punch once, there's kind of a delay from when you can punch again, so it can be a little bit easier to get hit as Clank than it is as Ratchet, but either way, just pick up these robots and then order them to attack these robots over there, and if they die, then they should respawn instantaneously on the spawn points here, so then you can just do it all over again. And there's so many options on that wheel that it's kind of weird that I was looking around where the attack thing was, and then follow is over there, so make sure that you use follow just so they are for sure following you. And then you'll want to get onto this elevator and activate it so you can go on down. And then you can open up those boxes and walk into this doorway. Now that hammer bot will be able to follow you into here, so my dog is barking. Hey, Jetty, what are you doing? I don't know where she went. She's going downstairs to bark at stuff outside the doorway, I guess. But anyway, once you get that hammer bot into that room, you'll want to hammer yourself and those 2 robots into this little opening, and then you can order them to enter the doorway. You will need 2 of them, so make sure you have both of them, and then you can get inside here. Now, I don't think you can actually take the hammer bot with you, but we'll be getting another one soon anyway, so it may not matter. Now, these guys you can try to go up to try and kill. They are melee guys, thankfully, but it's not really a good idea. You'll want to just leave them and deal with them when we get the little mini robots in a little bit. And I'm not sure how much damage they do to you, but knowing that a lot of things do 4 damage to Clank, I don't really want to risk it since I only have 3 health, even though it wouldn't matter either way. But just come on up to this elevator, break open both of these robots, and then we can destroy this robot in this room. And one of them's probably going to die, but you only need 1 to kill that robot anyway, so it's not a big deal. And then you'll want to pick up these other 2. And then when you walk up here, those 2 platforms should start moving up, and then the robot will come up with it. So you want him to attack the guy too, and any robot that dies should spawn on the platform or at the spawn point nearest to you. And then the second robot that we saw should be coming up too, and once you take care of him, you'll have to go back and get the 4th robot, and then you can order all of them to enter that doorway. So looking at the map, this level is rather on the complicated side, but anyway, when you step on that button, power failure will kick in, and then the emergency generators will come online, so now you get to play as Ratchet, and there is an ammo station there in case you are running out of ammo, and then there's a lot of robots that are going to be shooting fireballs at you, so you'll want to shoot them in some way or another, and it's kind of weird just switching from Clank going right to Ratchet and suddenly being able to shoot again, because as Clank you had to do all the meleeing, and as Ratchet you have to do all the shooting, so I don't know, it's just kind of odd having to switch between that. But anyway, these guys are a little bit tough for some unknown reason, so just hit them with as much as you can, and then dodge their fire blasts. Luckily, their blasts of fire are pretty slow, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, it's at this point where I actually buy the rocket launcher, and that is something I probably should have bought earlier in the game. As you see, I went from, like, I don't know, 70,000 to 20,000 bolts, but Anyway, the rocket launcher is going to come into a huge help, especially later on, and even right there, it just blows up all of them at once. This rocket is awesome, especially once it gets upgraded, it's even better. But rockets are overpowered, and as I've decided with every single Ratchet and Clank game, you need a blade gun, you need the Lancer. Holy cow, that's a loud ringtone. I have no idea who this is. I'm going to let it go to voicemail. I feel like I should recognize that number. And then, okay, then it just ended, so I don't know, maybe it was toll free. Either way, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you need a rocket, you need a blade gun, and you need the Lancer or some kind of machine gun to get through any Ratchet and Clank game. You probably could make it through any of them with just those weapons, but that seems to be the recurring thing for me anyways, that those are the weapons that I use often, so I don't know. Anyway, up here it's pretty good to use the rocket too, just to blast them aside, and these guys actually, they do quite a bit of damage to you when they hit you, and that's pretty aggravating. Now this rocket is pretty bad at homing in. In the first game it was really good at it, but this one, pretty terrible at homing in, because that one guy I think I shot 3 times and it took the 3rd one to actually hit him, and I have no idea why. Okay, so now we'll need to double jump onto here, and then we can wall jump onto this platform or just jump onto it. Now, as you go across these, the platforms are going to spawn and then disappear, so you'll need to quickly make your way across them and just get up here onto this platform. Now, that's the easy one. There will be a longer one near the end of the level, but I think that's after we get to play as Clank again. We'll see here in a second. And then that'll be kind of fun because it took me a few tries, but I think, actually I don't think I cut them out, we'll find out. So anyway, just blast them again with the rocket. Man, the rocket just does so much damage, and it has a lot of ammo too. I would expect this, like, it's weird, the sniper has 8 shots, but it can't really do anything. The rocket can kill stuff in 1 hit, and it has 25 bullets. I mean, come on, I don't get it. Anyway, so I was looking in this room because I thought for sure there had to be something in there, right? Nope, nothing. And then we can step on this elevator, at which point we will switch again to Clank. Oh, my dog came over and rubbed herself against my leg. That kind of scared me. I'm all on edge all of a sudden because my dog is growling at something, and when she barks, it's just so sudden, it always makes me jump. And then my phone rang, which scared the crap out of me, and now she came up and rubbed against me, and that, I don't know what my dog, I don't know what's happening. So anyway, for this room, just glide on down with Clank. I actually forgot that Clank's the one that glides when you're playing as Ratchet, so I just jumped on down and didn't glide and died the first time. But glide down, make it over here, and then free the bridge bot. Then make a bridge, and there will be a couple more robots that we'll have to deal with, which isn't a big deal. So the bridge is, of course, on the left side of that menu. Just make sure he can go across, and then you can take out these enemies, and of course a few more boxes. And then we'll want to step on the elevator. Now you'll want to bring him with you because you can't go up the elevator without him. And once he finally does come up to you, which should be automatic, then the elevator should be allowed to go on up. And then we'll be walking into yet more corridors with yet more of these enemies. And the bridge guy actually, well, as you see there, he can die. And I guess he's not too useful at doing his whole fighting thing, because I guess he's only good for bridges and nothing else. Now if he dies there, you'll have to come back, and you'll have to go back and pick up the bridge guy. And unfortunately, he's on the other side, so you'll need to tell him to build a bridge, so he'll come and build that bridge next to you. And then you can come back onto the platform, and he should break on up and come on over. So once again, it should be automatic. Now the camera's really weird. I kind of wanted to see him unfold his bridgeness and then follow us, but the camera automatically turned to me when I walked into that room. And I haven't actually mentioned this too much, but I think I mentioned a lot in the first game. The camera drove me crazy on many parts, but in this one, the camera was pretty good. There were a few points when something was in the way and it was kind of annoying, but it wasn't nearly as bad as in the first game. So as you notice, the bridge bot can only go a little bit past this gap, which means you'll have to glide all the way down and then get yet another bridge bot, because that first one will give his life for the purpose of rescuing Clank. All hail the bridge bot. And then you can make yet another bridge to get across here, and we'll want to use our robot minions to do all of the attacking, and they actually can push you off of this little bridge, so be sure they don't do that. I don't want to get too close because I'm still not sure if they're really if they're shooting enemies, but because it looks like they have blades as arms, I'm gonna assume that means they're not, so I probably didn't have to worry. And then at this point, the guys just aren't wanting to listen. I was hitting enter all the time, probably. That's probably why, but they just weren't really wanting to listen. And then, anyway, once you walk into here, there's that other bot you can grab a hold of, and then you can just tell them all to attack, and they should all be following you at this point, so there shouldn't really be a big thing to worry about. And then we'll need to get a hammer bot, and a few more boxes to destroy, and then of course those big electric boxes that we will want to get rid of. So tell him to use the hammer, and I don't think, we may have to use the bridge guy one more time, I'm not actually sure, but it gets a little bit hectic if you have to have that many robots with you. So use the hammer guy to break open both of these. You probably only need to do it on one, or actually, okay, no, it looks like you need to do it on all three. And okay, the bridge bot does end up coming with us, so we'll have to use the hammer guy yet again and pick up even another robot. I guess we need 5 of them, or is it just 4? I don't know. Anyway, so get over here and then use the bridge to expand the gap. Are there only 4? Oh, there must... No, yeah, I guess there's only 4. I thought there was 5. I'm losing count. Okay, so we only need 4 of those little robots to go into this doorway. And then I believe we switch to Ratchet one more time, or it's the end of the level. I can't remember which. It looks like it's the end of the level, so that's it for me.
Hey, check this out. Another wrench. So, did you run into your little friend out there?
I do not know what you mean.